Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the show. I'm Johnny Kane, and this next story here I think you're going to find interesting, and that is what really goes into the design of modern day basketball courts, particularly in college. Now, if you're a college basketball fan, you've maybe seen Cal State Bakersfield's bright blue court, Florida International, they feature a beachfront scene. UTEP has like a pickaxe design. I know a lot of these games will be played later in the evening, so you really got to be a college basketball junkie to be watching. Long Beach State has that two-tone flooring. San Jose State has some glow-in-the-dark accents. And then, of course, Oregon, the deep in the woods design. So unconventional, maybe, but it's increasingly become more commonplace for college and universities to separate themselves, kind of by branding a unique home court advantage. Gabe Loper, sportscaster from Wayne State University, joins us for a deep dive on that topic. Gabe, welcome back to the show.
Happy to be back as always, Johnny.
Well, always good to have you on, and I really am interested in this one because it's fascinating to me. So, what did you find out about what goes into court designs in college basketball?
Yeah, for it being a basketball court, it's anything but surface level. I mean, these things they're in depth. They have architects, they have the marketing teams, the university staff. Everybody's in on these things because this is not just the university's brand, but especially with the rise of NIL and how much money you're bringing in. We have the influence of other brands as well. Whether it is like something like Amazon Prime or whatever it may be, but all these companies and everybody's having influence now, influence and input into what goes on with these floor designs because they're deep, they're complex. You mentioned how memorable some of these floors and stuff are. So kind of digging into that, what they mean, for each brand, for each college, and what makes each floor unique.
It used to be it was like a big deal when they would name a court, and then there would be like some signage that would be on there, and then you'd see sponsorships starting to roll in. I like seeing, I like when you tune into a basketball game and you can see like, oh, where's this, right? Do you feel like it's appealing, like as a college basketball fan, like when you're watching, or would you like a more universal system of like, hey, let's just keep the basics the basics?
No, I like the uniqueness. I like the variety. I think knowing that every single school has their own taste and their own brand that they have to show off, and there's the other brands and the marketing, like I said, all those things that go into it as well. But nonetheless, I think if it was like a one size fits all kind of thing, it kind of dimmens the sport, kind of dimmens what it means to be an Oregon Duck, and what it means to be Michigan State Spartan with their classic court that us Michiganders know oh so well. So I like you said, the uniqueness makes it so special. It makes all the processes worth it, really, for each one of these brands, each one of these schools. So I would side with that. With that, I understand the people that are old school like the classic, just hardwood, but
Right.
change it up. Throw some glow in the dark accents on the floor.
There you go. That's it. We've obviously seen it in college football. You think about like the blue turf at Boise State, and Eastern Washington has that, the red surface, and there are some others. I think we saw that kind of come along, but you didn't see, there wasn't a lot of that copycat, around college football, but certainly with basketball, it lends itself to more of those opportunities. But it is different when you're watching, at home. I know I've been around some people that are like, what the heck is that? And obviously working in the NBA, we do a lot of the alternate court designs for like the NBA Cup, and some of the alternate designs for like the City Edition floor and all that other stuff. So anyway, I do think it is, for a greater audience, if you can make it a little more unique, you can, and obviously it goes much deeper into, as you mentioned, like some of the recruiting and the people that are involved in the decision making of making a court unique in and of itself. All right, without further ado, here's Gabe Loper on what goes into that process.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gabe Loper from Sportscaster.com, and today we're diving into something you've seen a million times but probably never really thought about: the business, the design, and the branding power behind the actual basketball court. A hardwood that stars walk, dunk, sweat, and celebrate on. And trust me, this is a deeper game than paint and planks. Let's start with one of the most polarizing surfaces in all of sports: Oregon, Matthew Knight Arena in Eugene, Oregon. Back in 2011, Oregon decided to make a statement. Thanks to the Nike genius and sneaker icon Tinker Hatfield, he pitched Phil Knight, Yep, the Nike founder and Oregon super donor, on a wild idea. Design a floor that you cannot miss on TV. Not the crowd, not the uniforms, the floor. And what came was the now famous Forest design, a halo of brown, tree shadowed silhouettes paying tribute to Oregon's 1939 championship team, the Tall Firs. Some fans loved it. Some said the colors made it impossible to see the ball on TV. But here's the thing, it worked. It created an identity. Oregon became flashier, bolder, a little more out there. Fast forward to last season, Oregon joins the Big Ten, and suddenly the court needs an upgrade. A father son design team, Todd and Quinn Van Holm, suddenly took over. They tried 50 different stains. They ran TV simulations for every shade. Oregon's own video crew literally set up broadcast cameras so the designers could see what it looked like in real time. The final version, still Oregon, but greener, brighter, still controversial, and still iconic. And that's the point. These courts are more than surfaces, they're branding weapons. Now, here's where things get crazy. Building a court isn't like repairing or repainting your bedroom. There are only two big players in the entire college basketball flooring industry: Connor Sports and Robin Sports Services. Both started over a century ago, both dominate the market. Connor Sports makes every floor that you see in March Madness. Robins, they supply Duke, North Carolina, and over 40% of all NCAA programs. And whether you're a Blue Devil or Wildcat, that floor under your shoes is almost always made of maple. Hard, flexible, durable maple. Installed right, that floor can last decades, up to 70 years if maintained. But here's the secret, the real magic isn't the wood you see, it's the engineering underneath. Shock absorbing subfloor, bounce performance, traction patterns, impact reduction, all meticulously designed for athlete safety and increasingly for the biomechanics of high level play in the NIL era. Trainers and team doctors are now part of the design decision making process. This isn't just art, it's science, money, branding, recruiting, and television all layered together. And speaking of branding, let's talk about Arizona. Their fans wanted the retro cactus look back on their center court. They said it on social media, they pleaded for it, they memed it, they demanded it. And finally, the athletic department listened. Arizona opened voting to the fans. Thousands weighed in, four designs went head to head, and the cactus was back. Within months, Arizona had a new court. Not years, months. And the reaction, instant viral energy. One scrimmage drew more than 9 million impressions on social media. Rob Gronkowski even showed up for the unveil. That is branding gold. That's NIL value. That's school spirit fused with social media firepower. And in Miami, Florida International University took the whole idea in a different direction. Their executive team said, "We're FIU. We're 305. We're beachfront. Let's show it." So they created what might be the splashiest court in Division One basketball, a sun and sand floor that literally looks like South Florida poured itself into the paintbrush. It's bright, it's tropical, it's unmistakable. And guess what? It works. People who didn't know FIU existed now recognize it instantly because of the court. Suddenly, recruits, fans, and sponsors are paying big attention. Courts are becoming billboards. Now let's talk dollars. A portable court, try $200,000 to $250,000. Permanent installs are slightly cheaper until you add the finishing and then the paint jobs and the stencils, logos, stains, and sealants that turn into another $30,000 to $100,000. One finishing company, QHF Sports, lays down vinyl stencils, stains the wood, seals it, paints it, every graphic, and puts on multiple coats. This work is done in summer, usually, of course, while campuses are empty. And it takes time, a lot of time. Because designing a floor isn't just athletic directors anymore. It's marketing departments, brand teams, creative directors, videographers, and now more than ever, NIL strategists. Everyone wants input. Everyone wants visual content. Everyone wants Instagram ready shots. And here's the takeaway. Courts are no longer the place where basketball just happens. They're part of revenue strategy. They recruit players, they energize fan bases, they boost social visibility, they build school identity. And as NIL changes the college basketball landscape, designers have the green light for boldness we've never seen before. Retro logos? Yeah. Beach scenes? Sure. Forest silhouettes? Absolutely. Creative freedom has exploded, and schools are realizing that in a world where players are brands, courts are brands too. So next time you watch your favorite team tip off, look down, not just at the players, but at the canvas underneath them. Behind the paint and the planks is a multi-million dollar design battlefield where identity, recruiting, and economics collide. I'm Gabe Loper from Sportscaster.com. Thank you very much.
Recruiting, economics, visible expression, entertainment. Really good insight from Wayne State sportscaster Gabe Loper. And it gives you something to think about the next time you watch a college basketball game or an NBA game, really, for that matter, and the canvas on which the game is decided. When we come back, where are they now? Many of them athletes themselves, the lives of kids with famous athletes as parents. That's next on Open Mic.